It is General Leia Organa Saturday morning. Come, let us meditate like a Jedi. This morning, let us play with the latest iteration of very easy meditation. Beginning with the first of 4 phases of mindful crease counting meditation. Over the span of 12 inhalations, we can advance our thumb in the following manner, beginning with our little finger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Multiply this by 8 sets on your left hand, and doing so will give you 96 inhalations. 1, 2, 3, 4 sets of 12 inhalations each. 5, 6, 7, 8 sets of 12 inhalations each. We keep track of this first of 4 phases by resting the great knuckle at the base of our right little finger, upon the tip of our left little finger, palms up in our lap. Doing so could gently invite our real or imagined subtle energies to coalesce in the bladder region of our lower abdomen. Come, let us demystify enlightenment. To the jaundiced man, snow appears yellow. Similarly, to those whose worldview is rigid, fearful, superstitious, controlling, elitist, cryptic, competitive, and cruel, their view of enlightenment is very elitist and very unattainable. However, for those whose worldview is flexible, loving, rational, laid back, egalitarian, lucid, cooperative, and kind, their definition of enlightenment is so attainable that the Buddha taught it could be accomplished in as little as a week. What then is that flexible and laid back view of enlightenment? It is simply stating that enlightenment is nothing more than mastery of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. But what do we mean by mastery? When a child masters using the toilet, brushing their teeth, tying their shoes, riding their bike, they are able to perform those activities spontaneously, habitually, easily, and effectively. But wait, there's more. When we emphasize playing with the 7th fold of mindfulness and the 8th fold of meditation, playing with them perhaps once every 12 hours or so, we will notice the remaining 6 folds of the Eightfold Path take care of themselves spontaneously. With the importance of mindfulness and meditation, I'm sure you will agree that it could be helpful, if not important, for us to explore them through the lens of neuroscience, which is exactly what we will do after approximately 30 seconds of housekeeping. This is Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. For more than 30 years, I've spent about 8 hours a day, almost every day, studying, practicing, mastering, and reverse engineering the teachings and techniques of each school of meditation so that you would not have to. Welcome, my friends, to Meditate Like a Jedi, which is made possible due to the generosity of viewers just like you. Please join me in this first of 4 chants. The nudity of the octuple couple sporting in tantric union reminds us of the vulnerability so crucial to mindfulness. Sturgeon's law reminds us that 90% of everything sucks. Since the Neolithic Revolution, society has been training us to be rigid, fearful, superstitious, controlling, elitist, cryptic, competitive, and cruel. But approximately 10% of the general population is subversive and actively trains to be flexible, loving, rational, laid-back, egalitarian, lucid, cooperative, and kind. So what does it look like when a rigid or controlling person teaches meditation? They wind up imploring their students to actively focus and actively analyze. They could use all sorts of interesting terms, including samatha or vipassana, but the fact of the matter is the only way to focus or analyze is to rely upon the discrete neural pathways found in regions such as the medial prefrontal cortex or the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex. Overtrain those regions and it will trigger our amygdala, the seat of anxiety and aggression. So let's talk turkey. No one meditates because they want more anxiety and more aggression. They meditate because they want less. They meditate because they want peace and they want love. So as Bugs Bunny said to Daffy Duck, I think we took a wrong turn in Albuquerque. Got some good news for you, though. Neither the amygdala nor the prefrontal cortex comprise the entirety of our central nervous system. So let's spend a few moments talking about the sympathetic nervous system. Every time we inhale, whether we know it or not, we access the sympathetic nervous system, which is found in the middle third of our spinal cord. This bad boy has evolved to help us to notice in a very special way, to help us notice vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly, which I'm sure you can see is the opposite of concentration. What is it that we have evolved to notice? We have evolved to notice mind's antics of perception. Seeing, hearing, feeling, tasting, smelling, and the like. Including emotion, intention, cognition, recollection, and imagination. Now that can seem like a whole bunch of things to do at the same time. Is there an easy way to do this? Yes. Yes, there is. Silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this during each inhalation, and you will nudge your cerebral cortex into cooperating with the sympathetic nervous system. One moment. Now, what are we to do with all these things that we notice? The meditation is simply relaxing into mind's non-graspable nature. Every time we silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb ease during our exhalation, we cannot help but release that which we noticed during our previous inhalation, thus causing us to experience it as fleetingly less solid, less permanent, and less defining, experiencing it at least until the next inhalation rolls around, because our job is not to get rid of perceptions. Our job is to cooperate with our autonomic nervous system in a sustainable way that helps us to become the people that our dogs already think we are. So as I mentioned a few moments ago, when I mentioned the primacy of mindfulness and meditation, so one of the first benefits of meditation is it helps ground us in the literal impermanence that supports release. So together as a team, I think it'd be quite lovely if we spent several minutes meditating together. And yes, the moment you have a specific question about Buddhist chanting, Buddhist meditation, or Buddhist philosophy, do type your question in great detail in the chat window. Come, let us explore the second of 4 phases of mindful crease counting meditation. Over the span of 12 inhalations, we could advance our right thumb, in the following manner, beginning with our little finger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Multiply this by 8 sets on our left hand to get 96 inhalations. Using our left hand, we would count 1, 2, 3, 4 sets of 12 inhalations each, 5, 6, 7, 8 sets of 12 inhalations each. To keep track of this, our second phase, we would rest the great knuckle at the base of our right ring finger upon the tip of our left ring finger, palms up in our lap. Thus gently inviting our real or imagined subtle energies to coalesce in the navel region of our mid-abdomen. Please chant with me. The translucence of the all-good Father and Mother depicted in paintings. Let's try this again. The translucence of the archetype all-good Father and Mother depicted in paintings. One last thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, from the top. The translucence of the archetype all-good Father and Mother depicted in paintings reminds us of meditation's experience of impermanence and non-graspability. Quick bit of review. What is the most efficient way to practice mindfulness? What's the most efficient way to notice mind's antics? Just by silently and mentally reciting the demonstrative pronoun this during each inhalation. But what do we do with all those things that we notice? Be they external or internal, physical or mental, pleasurable or painful, interesting or boring, glorious or grotesque. The answer to that is found with meditation. You see, every time we exhale, whether we know it or not, we are already wired by evolution to effortlessly access our parasympathetic nervous system, divided between the lower third and upper third of that same spinal cord. This parasympathetic nervous system has evolved to support both physical relaxation as well as mental release. Every time we silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb ease during our exhalation, we gently nudge our cerebral cortex into cooperation with our parasympathetic nervous system, thus helping us to release what we noticed during our previous inhalation, that it could feel like what we previously noticed was now as non-graspable as a vast empty void. Now, any good English teacher will remind us that a simile is only as useful as it is relatable. So we have to ask, what? What is a real-world example of a non-graspable vast empty void? The illusion is annoyingly obvious. Well, how about the illusion of the infinite azure sky on a bright and beautiful cloudless morn, which, although is tantalizing to the eye, is non-graspable to the hand? What is the key to vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly noticing mind's antics of perception, emotion, intention, cognition, recollection, and imagination? Silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this during each inhalation. What is the key to physically relaxing and mentally releasing to the point, physically relaxing to the point of mentally releasing that which we stressed over during our previous inhalation? Silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb ease during each exhalation. This brings us to the second of 4 benefits, or at least it reminds us of the second of four benefits. That by playing with meditation every 12 hours or so, we can't help but be deeply grounded in the metaphoric emptiness or the figurative emptiness that supports our mental release. So now, together as a team, let us meditate for the next several moments. We come now to the third of 4 phases of mindful crease counting meditation. Over the span of 12 inhalations, we could advance our right thumb in the following manner, beginning with our little finger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Multiply this by 8 sets, and you'll have 96. On our left hand, we count those 8 sets. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4 sets of 12 inhalations each. 5, 6, 7, 8 sets of 12 inhalations each. This is going to be our third phase, and we will keep track of it by resting the great knuckle at the base of our right middle finger upon the tip of our left middle finger, palms up in our lap. Doing so could gently invite our real or imagined subtle energies to coalesce in the heart region of our chest. Please chant with me. The beauty of sky blue archetype kuntu zong po and cloud white kuntu zong mo yam yam reminds us of the highest, love, spontaneous and uncontrived. Bit of review. When we silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this during our inhalation, we are wired to vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly notice mind's antics of perception, emotion, intention, cognition, recollection, and imagination. We also cannot help but notice that some of those things that we notice we really, really like, and some of them we really, really don't, whether they are actual or potential. And so we can notice that we resist the absence of what we desire, and we can also notice that we tend to resist the presence of what we dread. When we silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb ease during our exhalation, we tend to release what we noticed during our previous inhalation. We tend to release our resistance to the absence of the object of desire, and we also tend to release our resistance to the presence of the object of dread. But that's old hat. Let's explore something a bit new. The third benefit of regularly playing with mindfulness and meditation, perhaps once every 12 hours or so, is A, it calms the tyranny exerted by our amygdala's anxiety and aggression over our choices, utterances, and deeds, which is lovely. B, it stimulates our anterior cingulate gyrus, this fuchsia, this thing that looks like a fuchsia-colored sea. Or I should say that is depicted as looking like a fuchsia-colored sea. This bad boy has evolved to function as the hub of our mirror neurons, the seat of empathy, the root of compassion and love. You see, 50% of the Buddha's path pertains to love and kindness. And by playing with mindfulness and meditation every 12 hours or so, we are impelled to practice intention, kind communication, kind conduct, and commerce that is both cooperative and kind. And so, together as a team, Let us play with mindfulness and meditation. Let's play with mindfulness and meditation right now. We come now to our fourth and final phase of mindful crease counting meditation. Over the span of 12 inhalations, we could advance our right thumb in the following manner, beginning with the little finger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Multiply this by 8 sets. Multiplying this by 8 sets will give you 96 inhalations. We count those 8 sets in our left hand. 1, 2, 3, 4 sets of 12 inhalations each. 5, 6, 7, 8 sets of 12 inhalations each. To keep track of this, our fourth and final phase, we could rest the great knuckle at the base of our right index finger upon the tip of our left index finger, palms up in our lap. Doing so gently invites our real or imagined subtle energies to coalesce in the crown region of our head. Please chant with me. The stability with which God blew some month. Let's try this again. Let's see if the E is still there. It is Cowabunga. Okay, here we go. The stability with which the archetypes God blew some Mandara sits, and the abandon with which cloud white some Mandabandari sports, reminds us of the effortless effort of centered spontaneity. Yes, the key to vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly noticing mind's antics of perception, emotion, intention, cognition, recollection, and imagination is to silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this during our inhalation. The key to releasing what we noticed during our previous inhalation, the key to releasing our resistance to the absence of what we desire, the key to releasing our resistance to the presence of what we dread, is to silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb ease during our exhalation. As an extra added plus, this will stimulate our anterior cingulate gyrus, the seat of empathy, fueling our compulsion towards kind intention, kind communication, kind conduct, and kind commerce. But the question remains, just because we want to do the kind thing doesn't mean we always know what the kind thing is. How are we to navigate as wisely and lovingly as possible? The more we practice mindfulness and meditation, the more we will observe our choices and utterances and deeds flowing from the effortless effort of love's centered spontaneity. Not to be confused with the scattered spontaneity we might sample after perhaps 4 or 5 espressos, but the centered spontaneity that is the natural momentum created by mindfulness and meditation. Woof. As Obi-Wan Kenobi said to Luke Skywalker upon aboard the Millennium Falcon, you've taken your first step into a much larger world. If you feel that I have earned it, you could give this live stream a thumbs up. You could even help support this channel. In approximately 3 hours or so, I would very much like to return to lead the day's mid-morning meditation class and group practice. And if you are as geeky as me, may the Force be with you always.